So I'm really back in Pennsylvania now, or Philly, whatever you want to say. You can see my tan and everything. I'm back from California. It was a great vacation. I would go back in a heartbeat. But basically, you've seen my 3-part series, or whatever you want to call it, about Vidcon. When I was filming the LGBTQ plus panel, I originally was just planning to do it like the other panels that I filmed and include it in throughout one of the days. It would have been day 2. But probably within the first 10 minutes, I realized the importance of the topic. Well, like, I already knew the importance of the topic, but like how it wouldn't have been really right to include it, to try to squeeze it all into one of the vlogs. So I'm making it its own vlog because I'm proud to film this, and I'm proud to support the community and show the light that love is love. And basically, in today's society, it's sad. We've overcome so much. You shouldn't be scared to love who you want to love or be the person you are. So this is basically the highlights of the panel and what I wanted you guys to kind of take from it. So hopefully you all like. If you don't like, well, don't watch. That's all I can say.
Sounds good. So I started YouTube on accident. I was in college and I had 2 weeks of finals where I only had one final at the end of the week, so I was just messing around with my webcam. And I kind of started as, I thought I was cis, and I was straight presenting, which means I was in the closet. And I started watching a lot of LGBT YouTubers, and I really liked them, so I was like, I'll take a crack at this, and it was a lot of fun. And then eventually I started connecting with people.
Because I guess that as someone who, YouTube is not the only platform to have a livelihood.
Right.
And AdSense was never enough to sustain. I made $200 a month, maybe, like when I was doing great in my first year. So the idea of YouTube being a sole source of income is a philosophy I don't subscribe to, pun intended. But that being said, it's like building communities. Like in my first year, I made money off of people buying T-shirts, or and now there are systems like Patreon and donations. There are ways to be present, and you're absolutely right. Anger is worth expressing. It's worth expressing, but if you are yelling at a wall, like the wall isn't going to be able to do anything. And I just want us to be a strong community together and just continue to exist, because it's like, we've been talking about how YouTube is like, it's mistaken. It's learned the wrong direction, right? And like, they're not gonna change direction unless we participate in changing the direction. And it's more than a conversation. It's content creation. It's everything. It's everything you guys at BuzzFeed are doing. It's the continued presence of trans people online. It's like continuing to do that, and it's really frustrating and upsetting. But I believe that we can fix this as long as we focus on fixing it and not what they are doing wrong.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
So you're saying, you're just encouraging smaller creators to realize,
diversify your income.
Yeah, exactly. Diversify your income. Realize that it's like it's not a smart move to put all your money in one pot.
Yeah, and
okay,
also I
that makes sense.
don't. Yeah, my YouTube income is like it's not any of it, and it wasn't. So even back in the day, it's like right now, it's like, oh, I can say that, oh, because you get like book deals, blah blah blah. But like back in the day, even in my first year, in 2011, I made $18,000 total that year. The majority of it was from my job and merch. Okay, so like everybody, blah, 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 YouTube superstar, but really when you're starting out and you're small, I can't imagine it having been enough to sustain my apartment, my rent, you know what I mean? So that's just a perspective from an old geezer on the internet, you know what I mean?
I'm just gonna agree with everyone, but I'm just gonna say, bitch, where's my money? Like, honestly. For all of us.
I just want to co-sign or plus one what Hannah said. I think diversifying where your money is coming from is just amazing advice, no matter what you do. I think to just depend kind of unknowingly on just one source of income, like we're living at a time when those sources of income can change in one day,
It's like, oh, okay, YouTube's still gonna allow monetization on queer videos. Okay, well, I as an anti-LGBT person, I'll just buy ad space. So like they're devising new ways to come after us. And as we discover these things, as we discover like these roadblocks, we're gonna find ourselves in these moments. But you know, if anybody out here knows how to develop a platform, I think there's Into, that's a great web platform for queer content creation. Should we all go to Twitch? I don't know.
I had to calm down. I made a video talking about the anti-gay video that was floating around. It's so disgusting and so disrespectful, and I was so mad to go to one of my friend's channels. I went to Harvey's channel, and that ad was running on her video, and I wanted to fight somebody. I was so mad. Literally, I'm like shaking right now because it's disrespectful. Like, this is my place of business. That is writing gay, just anti-Semitic, racist, that's bigotry. You're writing that on my place of business. That's what that is. Because you're filtering us as creators, LGBT creators, and you're not filtering your commercials, and you're allowing them to target LGBT creators on Pride Month? Oh, you're disrespectful.
To give to people when they don't perfectly fit into a label.
Create your own damn label. Like the second people started putting them on me, I'm like, baby, labels are for clothes, hopefully the designer. Honestly, it's really, it makes you so unique and it makes you so cool. Like, I don't know, I've always been such a geek, and I really related to like X-Men and superheroes growing up. And to me, the superhero always was being bullied and whatever for being different and unique and killing everyone, whatever. And I don't know, I felt like it was just like a superpower, you know, like everyone else was so freaked out by us. And I think by really not fitting in, that just makes you like the fucking baddest bitch in the room. Like,
Yeah!
That's just me.
Thank you. We have an anonymous question now. Were any of you religious? And how did that affect you, good or bad? Multiple people can answer, you know?
So yeah, I'm half Italian, so I was raised Roman Catholic, if anyone knows what that is. Yeah, so I was pretty, like, I wasn't super, I went to Sunday school, I was confirmed in the Catholic Church, I sort of like lived the life of like a young Roman Catholic girl. And I think like what I sort of realized is like, you're gonna sort of internalize a lot of these messages, even if you're not hearing them explicitly from the people of that religion around you. Like, my experiences in Sunday school were generally pretty positive, because I think I was surrounded by generally good people. But I couldn't really separate that experience from what I was hearing overall from that church. And I know everyone is of different religions, different faiths, things like that, but for me, like, religion, sexuality, all of that stuff sort of became the space where I had to figure out, like, what I needed to prioritize, and I sort of realized that, like, as I was getting older, I sort of needed to focus more on the things that felt safe, and I didn't necessarily feel that way in my religion, so it was sort of like a sad but mostly okay process of just realizing that, like, once you're okay with the things that have made you feel scared for so long, it's all right to let some things go. But that's a pretty personal thing for everybody. There's a lot of people that do, I think, are still pretty involved in their faiths, and they also have a queer identity, and I think that's totally possible to reconcile that and to live happy and be cool. A lot of my like best queer friends are also like pretty religious. It's possible, it's very real, but you know, a lot of it just comes down to like moving into like the later stages of adulthood. Like when you have good curtains and stuff, like you're sort of like, okay, like you'll get there, you'll be okay, like you can figure out who you're okay with being.
Them that is religion in the modern era. I think that we have to continue to make our space known. I don't think, you know, I saw during Pride, at LA Pride, I saw a really great poster that said Jesus on homosexuality, and it was 2 empty quotes. He's never said anything. So just to continue to help bring your community that you're, you know, look at Bobby on Queer Eye. You know, he grew up super religious.
Yeah.
You know, and watch the first episode of the new season. It's really good.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna add something really quick. I went to Catholic school all 12 years. My father's side is Southern Baptist, so very strict religions, obviously, that I grew up in, and I found myself questioning both sides, not even, before I was even coming out, there was questions that I felt like I had, and so growing up I felt like I took from both of those, and I say that I'm a spiritual person now, and sometimes I feel like it's okay, but at the end of the day I just want as long as you feel like you have a connection with your higher being, that bigger purpose, then just stay in that space and make sure that you don't allow anyone to feel like you're going to hell. Just you're blessed.
So this is a big one, but Oasis asks, what is your advice to people who are scared to come out?
I mean, I think we all have stuff we can say to this, because I imagine at one time or another we've all been scared to come out. I would say that, like, you know, safety is paramount, and that if you aren't safe right now, that's okay. You're not doing yourself any disservices. You know, protect yourself, and you will be able to move into a safe space so long as those spaces continue to be created by people who may already be comfortably out. I spent some time in small towns in America, and the queer community's there. I'm like, wow, you guys are the ones that are really like changing hearts and minds, because here you are in a place that's not necessarily accepting or welcoming of you, and you're making a space for people to come to be accepted and to welcome one another and to be welcomed. So yeah, I would say just please continue to exist until the world catches up.
I mean, for me, I had a really big issue about kind of creating these like fantasies that my parents would never accept me, that my friends would never accept me, like what my friends think, and you know, what would everyone else think. And so I think when I came to the realization, like, accept yourself first, and then everyone else will follow. And if they don't follow, you already accept yourself, so who cares? Because they'll get out of your life. That's what I want to, that's the message I've always stood for. I mean, that's helped me and gotten me here today. You know, accept yourself no matter if you are queer or if you're just different, whatever. You have to accept yourself first,